Okay. And I also saw the movie Till tonight. I do want to talk about that. So, oh gosh, the story of Emmett Till. First of all, I really fucking appreciate the fact that they humanized this black mother. They humanized this black woman. Okay, so God, she's just such a fucking human. Like, they humanize her relationship with like her new spouse after her husband died, right? So she's like a single mother. She's a widow, and she's like raising a black child in Chicago. And you have to remember, Chicago is basically like urban, it's city, it's modern, but Mississippi is now and has always been like the country. So there's this whole idea versus like country versus city blacks. So she's like a city black, and she sends her black child to the country for the summer to stay with their cousins to get like a country experience or whatever. Now she knows a lot of like, I feel like black people in America kind of understand like country versus city life and all the differences there, especially like the racial differences and shit. So she's like really afraid to like send her kid to the South. She's like, I don't think he's ready. I don't think it's safe. This is not a good idea. She ends up doing it, but she's like really skeptical and weary about it the whole time. Okay, so then he basically goes into this like candy shop, and then the woman who's working behind the counter looks like a picture that he saw so he got a new wallet to come to Chicago, and the picture in the wallet, the one that just comes with the wallet, it had a picture of a woman, and the woman looked like her. So to him, that signified like a movie star. So it was like, wow, you're on the picture that's in my wallet. He was like, basically his idea is like, you're so beautiful. Like, and then he says this to her. He's like, wow, like you look like a movie star. You're so pretty. And then like he buys his candy and he like leaves. And then I think when he leaves, he like whistles at her or something. I don't know. I feel like it was pretty harmless behavior. You know, it just seemed like he was giving very much so like normal kid vibes to like, oh my god, beautiful woman, like, and he pretty much reacted in a very like typical way. But there's just so many racial undercurrents to it that now you like, especially in terms of like American context and black American experiences, for this white woman, it was so uncomfortable for her. So then she like, the whole experience just made her feel so uncomfortable. She runs to her car and gets a gun, and they realize like, so he's with a group of his friends or whatever, and then they're like, oh my god, she's got a gun, everybody run away, everybody run away. So just that social instance in that Mississippi community made a really huge impact, and the story got spun in all these ways. Like, it sounded like she had claimed rape, she'd claimed all these things. She in court, she'd claimed that he like robbed her, and he like stole the candy, and then he held her up, and he was like, she bloated all the way out of proportion, right? When in reality, he like whistled at her and called her pretty. Wow. So then basically at night, Emmett is at his uncle's house or whatever, and two white men show up at the door with a gun, and they're like, give us the boy now, give us the boy. So, okay, now here's where we gotta talk about niggers, because I'm sorry, like, literally this black man, grown ass black man, and his wife are supposed to be responsible adults taking care of an adolescent, right? He's got a shotgun on the wall. He is way bigger than these two white men, and still does, when they are literally, so the door is locked. The door of his house is locked, okay? They knock on the door and say like, let me in. He's got a gun inside of his house. I think he like lets them in. Alright, like, he never goes for the gun. He doesn't even approach the door with the weapon. And then he like lets them take away the boy. They also come in and completely like torture the kids, the children. And it's just like, abortion is an option. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, he was like, we can't do anything about this, because if we do anything about this, there will be a race war. Hello, nigga, there's been a race war. Like, how long have you been alive? Like, were you born yesterday? Like, you were born into a race war. Fucking slavery was a race war. There's never not going to be a race war. Here's the thing, like, you fight or you die. Like, that's it. You either participate and you try, or you fucking don't. And that's what I feel like a lot of black people, like, don't understand. Because even, like, the politicians and the, like, the legal professionals or something in this film, they keep trying to make all these arguments. Oh, we're trying to make it safe for the black people who want to vote. We're safe. Everybody needs to be safe. Be safe. It has to be safe. No, there's no fucking thing of safety and justice, okay? Like, in order to get justice, some motherfuckers have to die. That's how it is. That's just how it is. That's why I will now and have always respect gangsters. Like, I think you should find another profession, but I do respect gangsters for that reason specifically. Because, like, there's some shit they're willing to die for, and a lot of people die. And it's just like, in this particular case, this guy thought that running was going to help him, and, like, he was going to be able to, like, escape and then live. And then you hear all the thing about it, I really appreciate the humanity of the women and the mothers here, because they say, like, so many, even, you know, there's this one woman who decides to actually, like, make a case and take the stand. Now, she loses the case, so technically she lost. But look where we are in terms of, like, the Civil Rights Act and how many black people have been able to even, like, learn from her story. Like, the fact that she had a fucking open casket and let the whole world see what they did to her son, it did so much in terms of, like, telling the story of the underdog, because that's what I want you guys to remember. Sometimes you lose the fight, but you win the battle. Like, in terms of, like, the battle for, like, the hearts and minds of America and really making a difference in terms of the world that other black children can live in, Emmett Till's mother is a fucking G. She's like a literal gangster, for real. Like, everybody told her no. Everybody, like, she had the world against her. And even the fucking black politicians and lawyers that were, like, supposedly helping her, they just were trying to use the story. It was really her who was, like, taking the stand. It was her who was, like, allowing news reporters to come in. It was her who decided to go to Mississippi to even fight this, that had her son's body shipped back to Chicago. Like, all of those things, all of those decisions that she just made as, like, an independent person, as an individual. You know, she could have done this another way. She could have moved silently. And that's another thing I want to talk about. For some reason, there's this idea that, like, moving silently and, like, family business and whatever, while all this shit is, like, going wrong and nobody's telling any fucking story, all the politically correct black people are like, but our family, keep the family business. There's no fucking family business when you have, like, racially motivated hate crimes, okay? Like, those are crimes against a racial group. Now, if everyone from the fucking racial group is dead, then you have the Holocaust, and you have basically a lot of what's fucking happened in America. Like, a lot of fucking black people were lost. Like, a lot. Not like a little bit, like a fucking lot. And I think that's what y'all don't understand about, especially, like, continental Africans or, like, Ethiopians. Like, a lot of fucking Ethiopians died to fight off the Italians. Like, they're fucking dead. They're dead. And you know what? Like, Europeans learned the fucking lesson. Like, if you come here, you can die. We're gonna die too. We can all die. All right, like, either you fight the fucking war and know that there's a real possibility that you might lose and die, or you don't fight at all and then you for sure die. It's kind of like the Woman King, right? Where there's a story. She literally stands up and she says, if you want to live, you fight. If you don't fight, you die. That's the only fucking choice. There ain't another choice. There's so many other themes I want to unpack until, but yeah.